Hello. It's nice to see you again.
So your mom was really pissed about all the horror stories recently, so I agreed to tell you one of those lovey-dovey stories she likes so much. Here's City of Angels.
It's all real confusing and painful, but very, very good.
So we meet Seth as he's watching a little girl in her bedroom.
Creep.
Well, he's watching her die.
What kind of sick son of a bitch is this guy?
He's an angel.
Hey, you're early.
But after he watches her die in the hospital, he makes her watch her mom cry as the doctors work on her. So there is that. But he didn't watch her in the bathtub, so that's good. And he does like watching people do other stuff than just die. He listens to people's thoughts and watches them go about their day. And he and the other angels exchange notes.
They have a crashed flying saucer up there with frozen alien bodies.
Like when he tells his buddy Cassiel about how he saw some dude touch a random woman in an elevator and then watched him bang.
She definitely knew what she liked.
So yeah, I really can't get a read on this guy. But the other angels are just as weird, and all dress alike too. They wear all black and have trench coats to cover their wings, even though they're invisible.
Why would they wear trench coats? Wouldn't they wear old-timey clothes?
Well, they don't want to freak people out. I mean, they just died. So they wear modern clothes.
Christ didn't come to Earth to give us the willies.
And they don't think that people will be freaked out when some rando pops in their house dressed like they're gonna rob a 7-Eleven?
Oh, shit. Just give him the money. Give him the money.
I guess not. They also can't experience touch, and they all wonder what it would be like.
Want me to show you how it feels?
The little dead girl even said that would be the shittiest part of being an angel. But what does she know?
Kids are stupid.
Then we meet Maggie Rice, a doctor who has no sense of personal safety. She's a heart surgeon, and after she loses a patient on the table, she makes sure to change clothes before telling the family he's dead.
Can I please take a shower?
But during the surgery, Seth swears that they made eye contact while she was trying to save him. So after taking the dude to heaven, he goes back to watch her cry in the stairwell.
And I'll be damned if I didn't get really turned on.
When he thinks she can see him again, he goes back to Cassiel to see if that's even possible. He says that people can only see him if he wants them to see him. But the next day, some little kid sees Cassiel, so what does he know?
I'm sorry, I'm just not that stupid.
Then Seth goes back to check on Maggie, whose neck surgery got canceled because she needs time to recover. The doctor who tells her also left surgery to tell her, so this might not be the best hospital to have a procedure done anyway.
Oh, shit.
What are you missing?
Sponge.
But when Seth finds out that this dude is also banging Maggie, he gets super jealous. So he follows her around the hospital, where he sees that her confidence is shaken because she thinks that she might not be the one who decides if her patient lives or dies. But that doesn't stop her from looking up what might be wrong with this dumpster baby, because what does God know?
What a incredible seismic narcissist!
Then as she's leaving, she sees Seth standing outside her patient's room. She tells him that visiting hours are over, but he says that he's there to see her, in a very culty way.
Are you in despair?
But she opens up, telling him that she killed a guy, even though she told this guy's wife, who she thinks Seth is visiting, that the conditions weren't right. And then he brings up religion, in a very soothing voice, while wearing a cult uniform, and her reaction is verbally correct, but with the wrong tone.
Better get out of here, Seth. Security's gonna think you're a psych patient.
And this is because she thinks that Seth and his mane of chest hair is cute.
Everything about me invites you in. My voice, my face, even my smell.
And you can tell this by her turning back to get a second look, but he's gone. She then remembers that he said he knew her name because she was wearing a name badge, but it doesn't have her name on it. And instead of being weirded out, she's like, "Aw, I've got a stalker. Nice."
I'm touching myself tonight.
And this conversation has given her the motivation to operate again, because she thinks that her patient knows Seth, and she can't ask his wife for Seth's phone number after telling her her husband's dead.
Well, I mean, she could.
Yeah, but I think that would be considered poor bedside manner or some shit. But she can't stop thinking about him, or his religious cult-like demeanor. And he watches her think about him in the bathtub.
If only they'd let us jerk off, you know?
He also somehow stole a book from the library and put it on her nightstand, bookmarked with a section that he wanted her to read.
Heard about the spring? You knew there'd always be a spring?
This is basic science.
So when she returns it, the clerk makes her reshelve it herself, and that's when Seth says hi. She starts backing up from him, even before he implies that he's homeless and says,
I'm a messenger of God.
But that's when she stops, despite being an atheist. But he tells her to trust her feelings, and not her brain, because what does her brain know?
You're just a woman with a small brain.
And that's when they get an audience, so he suggests they go somewhere else. So she takes him grocery shopping, and then to work where she wants to look at his blood, but he doesn't have any, so he makes her think that he's a giant pussy when it comes to needles, and they look at hers.
It's just crap. I'm full of crap.
He brings up heaven again, and we find out that she's not creeped out by any of this because she's starting to believe that there might be a God because she did a surgery by the book and the dude still died. So it had to be God that killed him, and not her.
Attributing the daily horrors of their lives to a mythical figure.
Oh, sure. Blame God when you screw up.
Well, normally I would agree with you, but in this case, it's true.
I hope you're not going to become one of those surgeons who prays in the OR.
He then asks her why people cry, and they agree that emotions like sadness and joy are so overwhelming that you just leak fluid. But then she gets a page, on her day off, that her patient can't breathe. So she tells Seth to stay put in a hospital lab where he could contaminate stuff, and she runs upstairs to detube Nathan. Then when she leaves, he talks to Seth. So this makes him not teleport back down to the lab to finish his date with Maggie.
He was busy.
He was chicken shit.
So she's upset and goes home to find that doctor in her place wanting to take her away for the weekend. And it seems like their relationship might be more involved than she lets on, since he assumes that they can use her uncle's cabin in Tahoe, and he used a key to get into her place to pack a bag for her. She tries to see if she has the same connection with him as she does Seth, and when it's clear they don't, they bang.
But she likes Seth.
Shut up. That doesn't matter. People like comfort. Why do you think so many people watch a TV show long after it stopped being good, instead of just picking a new show to watch? They know the show is only okay, but they still choose it because even though this new show might be better, they're afraid it might not be. And it's the same way with people.
So reruns are like banging your ex?
Exactly. And watching a random episode from time to time is fine, but don't start the show from the beginning. You already know how it ends.
And the ending sucked?
Yeah, it did.
Anyway, Seth doesn't want to watch him bang, so he goes back to Nathan's room. He seems to know that Seth is there, so he reveals himself. Nathan says that he's not ready to die, but he tells him that that's not why he's there. So Nathan pieces together that he's got a crush on Maggie, and he's like, Mr. Angel Man, I don't know how, but you picked the right dude to talk to. But to get anything else out of him, Seth has to take him to a greasy diner, where apparently they don't have a dress code.
I'm the only guy here with his ass hanging out of his dress.
Turns out, Nathan used to be an angel too, but found a way to become human.
Did he have to cut off his wings like Bartleby and Loki did?
No. In the story, you just have to jump off something really high.
What the fuck?
But Nathan wants Seth to take him to the beach because all the angels gather there when the sun rises or sets. Apparently, the sun makes some kind of music, but since Nathan can't hear it, he goes skinny dipping.
Who doesn't love splashing around in shitty water?
And you have to assume the salt water can't feel all that great on his fresh stitches. And I guess he's not worried about infection because Seth told him he wasn't about to die.
Do the angels decide when people die?
No, they just deliver him to heaven. So I'm not sure why this guy thought he would be able to talk him out of killing him.
So why would he tell him that he wasn't ready to go if he knows it won't do any good?
They do affect people's moods. Like they calm this dude down during a robbery of a convenience store and an air traffic controller so people don't die.
Another happy landing.
So I don't know how much is predetermined. But Nathan sure acts like he doesn't have anything to worry about with the way he lives.
Where did you get that?
Glutton, hedonist, former celestial body, recent addition to the human race.
But Nathan being so happy with all the things he couldn't have as an angel makes Seth think it might be worth it.
It's pretty flimsy evidence.
Seth tells Cassiel about the fall and asks him if he should. I mean, giving up immortality and vast knowledge for some chick he just met a couple days ago seems crazy.
A little flat-chested, but hey, all you need's a handful.
It's not worth it.
So he stalks her at the park and asks her if she loves the boyfriend that she hasn't mentioned before. But she doesn't pick up on that, and that's why he's always wearing the same clothes all the time. And also, why he hasn't made a move on her yet.
You big stud! Take me to bed or lose me forever!
So he kisses her right after she says she might love her boyfriend, but that she wishes all the time for just one more minute with him. And then she just fucks off. But Nathan's family is throwing him a "I'm glad you didn't die" party the next day. So of course, they invited a surgeon. And of course, she goes hoping to see Seth, who she just left confused in a park hours before. So it's a little awkward, and the little girl hanging all over him isn't helping. She starts asking Nathan about Seth, but when he starts answering questions wrong, he fucks off. She also sees that Seth doesn't show up in a photo somebody took.
Where'd he go? Where'd who go?
Then, when she takes him back to her place, she sees him not cut himself with a knife. So she slashes his hand with a knife to confirm what she saw. And when he's not cut, he tries to tell her what he really is, and that he's in love with her, but she just tells him to fuck off. So he disappears like a fart in the wind. But the next day, she's sad and can't concentrate on surgery, and he's apparently started smoking.
Man, when did you start smoking?
So on a dark and stormy night, he goes to her house, and while she's undressing, he sneaks up behind her and starts touching her.
Like a creep.
But she doesn't know he's there, but says that she wishes he was.
Wait, you said that angels can affect people's moods. So does she really like Seth? Or is he just making her all horny?
So I'm crazy and I'm chemically imbalanced.
So he still doesn't materialize and spoons with her. And somehow, this makes her sleep like a baby. But that's what makes her realize what's wrong with the dumpster baby that we all forgot about.
Just like his mom.
I lost it. I lost it.
So what's wrong with it?
Oh, he had some garbage up his nose from the dumpster his mom put him in. And its doctor never bothered to see if the baby had any boogers.
How was I supposed to know?
But after that, the doctor she bangs from time to time wants her to go with him to her uncle's cabin and marry him there. And she might have told him about Seth being an angel because he says,
We belong together. We're the same species.
but then won't let her answer and fucks off.
You can't just walk away.
She then makes a house call to see Nathan, where she says it's all bullshit that she can't be with Seth. But he tells her about the fall he can take and that he used to be an angel too. So knowing that he can become human, she goes to the library to find the dude that she knows is stalking her to tell him that she's going to marry the dude that she doesn't love because he won't get mad at her work schedule. Then she tells him to stop stalking her and fucks off.
You bitch! You goddamn whore!
So he jumps off a building and he lives.
Best feeling ever.
Try tickling your pickle for the first time.
He wakes up with a full construction crew, all watching him sleep, but they kick him out after they think he's on drugs. And now that he can't teleport, he has to learn to maneuver around town, starting with walking.
And he's about to be roadkill.
He tries to get directions from somebody on the street, but apparently he can't speak all the other languages anymore.
English, goddammit. Speak English.
Why would he be able to speak English then?
Oh, come on. Everybody knows English is the default language in heaven.
You're not American?
He finds his way to the hospital by following an ambulance, and that's where we see that he's never seen his own face before.
Well, what does he look like?
He looks like somebody who might think he's a vampire.
Oh God, where am I?
But he also looks like a crazy person when he goes inside to look for Maggie.
Where's that little cunt?
Luckily, he runs into the doctor looking after the dumpster baby, and she tells him that she went to her uncle's cabin in Tahoe. So he rushes off to take a bus, but he doesn't have any money. Then, when he tries to hitchhike, he gets mugged and they take his shoes. But a trucker eventually picks him up, and we see Cassio was watching all this go down, like a dick.
I'll have no part of it, nor would any thinking person.
Once he's in Tahoe, he looks up her uncle's address and shows up at the door, looking like a recycled asshole. She cleans him up and tells him that she couldn't marry Dr. What's-His-Name, and then they bang.
Don't laugh.
It was my first time.
And this is where he finds out that when happy, guys can also cry out their penis.
You say you in love!
And she also does this weird callback to their first date, where he had her describe what a pear was like. But this time, she makes him describe what her vagina feels like.
It's so slippery! Woohoo!
Never date a man who knows more about your vagina than you do.
But while making a fruit salad, she's like, I bet he'd like the taste of that.
Her vagina?
No, a pear. But yeah, probably that too.
I'll never do that again. Jeez.
So while he's in the shower, she rides her bike to the store to buy one. And on her way back, she rides in the middle of the road, arms extended, closes her eyes, and just feels the wind.
She said, what good would wings be if you couldn't feel the wind on your face?
And when she opens her eyes, she sees that a logging truck is pulled out onto the road, and she smacks right into it. Doesn't try to hit the brakes or anything.
You were a doctor.
She couldn't hear the truck?
No. And it's one of those that you can hear for miles. So the idea that this was an accident is just fucking stupid.
Idiot.
Somehow, Seth knows she's hurt, so he rushes through the woods to the exact spot she's at. She says she's sorry for getting the pear, but he's like, it's fine. I'll eat one some other time. But then she's like, I see one of your trench coat friends, and she dies. And I'm pretty sure dying is a little easier when you know for a fact that there's something after.
Don't give me a jerk off hand job.
But Seth is the only reason she went out. So if he didn't quit, would she have lived?
And he is a stern and vengeful God.
Am I being punished?
You know, I don't know. If she didn't get hit by the truck, maybe she would have slipped in the shower or some shit.
Because her number was up?
I just don't think he's the bloodthirsty asshole you make him out to be.
But it seems like God or maybe the angels do care because her death is so sad that it rains in LA when she's buried.
Dude, that's weird.
That's not supposed to happen.
After the funeral, he goes to get a pear, but ends up buying a shitload because apparently they're worth dying for. Then that night, Castiel asks him if he still would have made the choice if he knew. And he's like, fuck yeah.
At least the no pants dance was worth it.
But of course, I'm sure she might have enjoyed living too. Then he eats a pear and is like, it's okay.
You know, I can eat a peach for hours.
Then he goes to the beach, and since he can't hear the sunrise anymore,
The tortures of the damned!
he goes swimming, making it seem like being wet might be his favorite thing about being alive.
I can't take it anymore!
And because he stupidly didn't go skinny dipping like his friend, when he gets out, he's gonna know how it feels to wear wet jeans.
But what's he gonna do now?
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Excellent choice.
You want to watch anything?
I wanted to show you everything.
No one can see you unless you want them to.
This is what they call serendipitous.
How does it even work?
You make up your mind to do it, and you do it.
I could do that.
What are you waiting for?
Do it! Do it!
I am stuck on Band-Aid brand 'cause Band-Aid's stuck on me.
Just get out!